Hi, here's an example of how to write a chemical equation for an electrolytic dissociation. So our example is looking at to determine the chemical equation for the electrolytic dissociation of the solid compound magnesium chloride, or MgCl2. First thing I'm going to do here is write my electrolyte. So MgCl2, and I need to make sure that I write the phase that it's in. So we're in the solid phase. Next, I put in my arrow, and to the right of that, I'm going to put in my cation and anion. So I have magnesium, and I have my chlorine. All right, I'm going to have to figure out the charges now on my cation and on my anion. So I'm going to take a look at the periodic table. And as you can see here, my magnesium is found in the second group, which is the alkaline earth metals. And so it's going to have a charge of 2+, where chlorine is a halogen, and it's in the 7A family. It's going to have a charge of 1-. But since it's a 1, I don't actually need to write that. I can just write negative, and that will be sufficient. Now all I have to do is make sure that I don't forget that they're in the aqueous phase. So that tends to be a little step that gets put to the side. So I'm going to put that in there right away, aqueous, and I've got to make sure that I've got enough of the element. So I notice that I have a subscript of 2 here for the chlorine. So I'm going to have to put it as a coefficient here on my chlorine anion. Last step is just to make sure that all my charges are balanced. So I'm going to just double check that I have 2+. That means everything's got to add to 0. So if I've got a 2+ charge on my magnesium, I'm going to add that to the -1 charge on my chlorine. But this, of course, is actually put it with a superscript. Sorry. There we go, just like that. And there's 2 of them. So I'm going to multiply that by 2. This should be getting me to 0. Let's just take a look. If I have 2 positive plus 2 negative, I have an overall charge of 0. So everything balances and we're good.